ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनामिने गौरतुसे नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So we welcome everyone for today's discussion on Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So yesterday we discussed from first chapter, verse number 20, and today we are going to discuss verse number 21 and 22. So yesterday we saw Arjuna. He was in the beginning he was fully prepared for fighting. Pravritre sastra sampate dhanurudhyamya pandava rishikesham tadavakyam idamaha mahipate. So uh, with this spirit, with this fighting spirit, and he has taken his bow in his hand, and now he is prepared to fight. He is speaking to Krishna uh, in this manner. He is actually going to request Krishna to do something so that he may be able to analyze the military strength and fight properly. So Arjuna Vacha Senayoruhayor Madhe Ratham Sthapime Achyuta Yavadetan Nirikshaham Yodhukaman Avasthitan Kairmaya Saha Yodhavyam Asmin Ran Samudyame. So Arjuna is telling, requesting Krishna. Arjuna said, "O infallible one, please draw my chariot between the two armies so that I may see those present here who desire to fight and with whom I must contend in this great trial of arms." So, O infallible one. So, Arjuna is addressing Krishna as Achyuta. Achyuta. Achyuta means infallible one who never falls down from his position. Uh, that is the meaning of infallible one. In this material world, all the living entities are fallible. The very fact that we have this material body implies that we are fallen. We are fallen down. We have fallen down to accept this material body and the material conditionings, and we are under the also material nature, and we keep falling down again and again. And that is actually the nature of the living entity. The living entity, being very infinitesimal, very minute in potency, in quantity, has this natural tendency to fall down. That's why the living entity, like us, ourselves, Jivatma, the living entities can only remain perfectly situated when they are in connection with the Supreme Lord, Supreme Whole. It's like fire and spark, fire is spark. So the complete fire that the complete fire, it is not extinguished even by the air, by the flow of the air. But I switch this fire spark coming out of the fire, the big fire. If the spark comes out of the big fire, then the spark loses its existence, loses its quality of being fiery. If fire falls down on the dry grass, so it may retain the quality of being fiery for some time. If the fire falls down on wet grass, so it may retain only for very few seconds. And if the fire falls down on water, then immediately it gets extinguished. Similarly, the living entities are also compared in the Vedic literature as spiritual sparks. So when the spiritual spark falls down in this material world, three conditions arise. First is it falls down in mode of goodness. It may become demigods or brahmanas. Second is it may fall down in mode of passion, and third is mode of ignorance. So mode of goodness is spark falling on dry grass. Mode of passion is spark falling on wet grass, and mode of ignorance is spark falling on water. So those who are in mode of ignorance, they completely lose their spiritual qualities. And so that is the tendency of the living entities in this material world. Why? Because we are very, very insignificant. This is a fact. Everyone should accept this fact. If out of false ego, any living entity thinks like Mayavadis, they think that we are not insignificant. We are also universe. There are some people who think that if you imagine the entire universe is with you, the entire universe, you can control the entire universe if you think so. If you desire, you can change the direction of the universe. You can change the flow of the universe. You can control the universal power. So this is all nonsense, bogus thing. This is all false thing. Nothing is going to happen. It doesn't matter how much you desire. Can you stop the movement of sun, moon, air? What to speak of stopping the movement of sun, moon, and air outside? We cannot even stop the movement of air within our own self, within our body. That is not possible. How many of us can control our breathing? Can we remain breathless even for 5 minutes? Is it possible? Maybe for 1 minute or 2 minutes at most, but not 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Impossible. Can we stop the flow of different chemicals which are inside our body? No, we cannot. Huh? We cannot even control our mind. We cannot even stop the movement of mind. Mind is just running here and there. Eh? But the foolish people, they think that if you desire, you can control the universe. You can you can merge your consciousness with universal consciousness, and in this way you can control the universe. This is all bogus nonsense. Nothing is going to happen. The only thing is going to happen that you are going to become mad if somebody is thinking. You means not you. You are all nice students. I'm telling about the person who thinks like this. So one should not get misled about this. One should very intelligently accept the fact that we are weak. This is a fact. We means the living entities are weak, insignificant. We are spiritual sparks. We cannot put ourselves into this great illusion that we are is a spiritual whole. We are like big fire. No, not at all. We are a spiritual spark. We are not like sun. We are not even like sun rays. We are just a molecular, a small molecule, particle in one sun ray. One single sun ray contains many, many fiery molecules. And one such molecule, we are like that. So Krishna is Surya, Krishna Surya Sama. Krishna is like sun, big, big fire, big sun. And from his body there is effulgence like sun rays. The effulgent rays is coming out of his body, Brahman effulgence, and on those spiritual rays coming out of the body of the Supreme Lord Krishna, there are minute particles, minute molecular particles situated, and those are actually living entities. We are those particles. So we are so insignificant. So there is nothing wrong in accepting the fact, because if we can accept our insignificance, then we can also progress in spiritual life. We can remain dependent upon the Supreme Lord, and in this way we will remain perfectly situated. So this is for our good. Just like if a small child out of illusion, if he thinks, I am independent, I can do whatever I want, I can earn money, I can cook myself, I can live alone. So this is all foolishness. If a small 4-year boy, old boy, 5-year-old boy thinks like this, so is it going to happen? No. If he thinks and if he goes out of from the protection of his parents, then he is surely going to die also. He is surely going to starve out of hunger. He is surely going to become fearful. Similarly, we are a small child. insignificant spiritual particles. So we should never come into this illusion. We should always understand we are Chutta, fallible. Chutta means fallible. We have the tendency to fall down. That's why we should be careful to choose the circumstances, situations where we can progress, where we can remain safe on our spiritual journey. That's why it's very much required that we accept favorable situation and reject unfavorable situation. Because we are not supreme controller, we are not significant living entities, we are not supreme lord, we are not like big fire, we are a spiritual spark, a small tiny particle. So we have the tendency to fall down by coming in contact with Maya. This is the natural tendency we have got. That's why living entity, that's why it is recommended that we should always remain in the association of devotees. Then we are very healthy situated. Then we are in uh, in connection with the big fire, and then we can retain our fiery quality. So this is regarding to the living entities. But in contrast to the qualities of the living entities, that means our qualities, Lord Krishna is not like us. Lord Krishna is Achyuta. He is Achyuta means infallible. He remains fixed up in his position. We can come into the clutches of Maya. We means all the living entities, including Lord Brahma. What to speak of Lord Brahma? Lord Shiva, who is not actually living entity, he is not insignificant living entity like us. He is far, far better than ordinary living entity. But because he is also not the Supreme Lord Vishnu, actually he is Vishnu. He is expansion of Lord Vishnu. There is no doubt about it. So in that sense, he is non-different from Lord Vishnu. But actually, he has a different tattva. He's neither living entity nor the Supreme Lord Vishnu tattva. He's not Jiva tattva. He's not Vishnu tattva. He is in between. So that's why only the Supreme Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna, all the Vishnu Tattva, only they are predominator, they are controller, only they are Achyuta, infallible. And rest everyone else have got the tendency to fall down. And that tendency may vary from person to person. Like those who are situated in mode of goodness, they will have less tendency to fall down. Those who are situated in mode of passion and ignorance, they will have more tendency to fall down. That may be there. And demigods, they have less tendency. Lord Brahma has still got more lesser tendency. And Lord Shiva, of course, Lord Shiva does not come into category of the living entities who fall down because of the influence of Maya. Lord Shiva doesn't get influenced by Maya. He is also the master of Maya. But Lord Shiva becomes bewildered by the internal potency, Yog Maya potency of Lord Vishnu. So in this way, Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna is actually the supreme controller. Everyone else is either bewildered by the potency, Mahamaya potency, like us, we living entities, and the pure devotees and personalities like Lord Shiva, they also are in bewilderness because of the influence of Yoga Maya, and that is completely spiritual. So we should not see this as a fault, but the discussion is that in front of Krishna, or everyone else is actually uh, inferior or subordinate to the Supreme Lord Krishna. That is explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Ekala Ishwar Krishna Arasavavritta. Only master is Krishna. Everyone else is his subordinate. That's why this word Achyuta. So Arjuna is addressing Krishna as Achyuta. So we are discussing the meaning of word Achyuta in great detail. And then we'll also discuss why Arjuna is addressing Krishna as Achyuta. That we will discuss. And then also finally we will be discussing that what is the lesson we get or what help we can get from Lord Achyuta. So first this thing, Achyuta. So Achyuta means one who never falls down from his position. So what is the position of Lord Krishna? Lord Krishna has been declared as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is Supreme Controller, Supreme Master, Supreme Proprietor, and Supreme well-wishing friend. And Bhakta Vatsal, supremely Bhakta Vatsal, supremely affectionate to his devotees. That is the position of Lord Krishna. So from this position, Lord Krishna never falls down. That is the meaning of Achyuta. The promise he takes, he never falls down. So somebody may think that no, here Arjuna is addressing Krishna as Achyuta, but Krishna also fell down from his promise, because he promised that I will not lift my weapons. But still, in order to protect Arjuna, in order to kill Bhishma, Krishna was ready to lift the weapons. So how is it that he is Achyuta? No. So this is not the contradiction. The Krishna's willingness to give up his promise, Krishna's willingness to lift the weapon in order to kill Bhishma, is not actually the example for his being falling down from his position of being his Vachanbadha, or that he has taken a vow. No, but actually it is the best perfect example of his of having the position of being a Bhakta Vatsal, affectionate to his devotees. That is also one of his position. So from this position, that he is Bhakta Vatsal. Bhakta Vatsal means he is ever ready to protect his surrendered devotees. That is the highest thing. Out of affection for his devotees, he is even willing to voluntarily give up his promise. So he is voluntarily giving up his promise. So that is not actually falling down from his position, because he is maintaining his supreme position of being a Bhakta Vatsal, affectionate to his devotees. So that is the position of Lord Krishna. So another thing, Lord Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he is Achyuta. So he never falls down from his position. That means even if he comes down to this material existence, material world, in whatever shapes and forms, in whatever incarnation he may come, still he remains the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Supreme Controller. That is the meaning of Achyuta. He is not at all influenced by the activities or modes of material nature. That is his position. And also this means that sometimes because of being affection for his devotees, affectionate towards his devotees, sometimes Krishna may act like a subordinate to his devotees. Sometimes it may appear that Krishna is also defeated. Krishna is also under the control of somebody. But that also does not bring Krishna, uh, 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 means, that also does not deviate his principle, that he is the Supreme Personality of God. Still, he remains infallible. He does not fall down from his position of being Supreme Personality of Godhead, because out of affection for his devotees, voluntarily he is acting like a subordinate or controlled by his devotees. When he appears as a small child, small baby, still he is Supreme Controller. And sometimes, in order to fulfill the promise of demigods, sometimes in order to release the transcendental pastimes with his devotees, sometimes he may act like a human being. Just like Lord Ramchandra, he also acted like a human being, because there was a benediction for Ravana. Lord Brahma gave that Ravana can only be killed by a human being. Uh, so that's why Lord Brahma is his appointed agent and his servant and his dear devotee, pure devotee. So in order to keep up the promise given by Lord Brahma, so Lord Ramchandra acted like a human being. So that was just an acting. It was not just that he fell down in the position of being a human. The foolish people, they think like this. And Krishna explains this fact in Bhagavad Gita. Avajananti mam mudha manusam tanumashritam. Param bhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. Avajananti mam mudha. Those who are foolish rascals, they think that when I appear in human-like form, he does not take the human body. He appears in a human-like form. So when I appear in a human-like form, the foolish people, they think that I have become a human being. They think I have taken the body of a human being, just like an ordinary human being. So that is their foolishness. And because avajananti mamura, param avajananti mamura, param bhavam ajananto. They do not know my superior transcendental nature. That mama bhuta maheshwara, that I am the supreme controller of all the bhuta, all the living entities, all the elements. That they do not know. That's why they try to they think that I have fallen down. I have taken the position of a human being. That is their mistaken idea. And and Krishna and Lord Ramchandra, they have proved it also. That no ordinary, they have performed such wonderful activities that no ordinary human being had ever imagined to perform. That can actually be done by the Supreme Lord because he is infallible. So that is the meaning of infallible, Achyuta. So one thing is he never falls down from his position of being a affectionate uh, towards his devotees, Bhakta Vatsal. Another thing, he never falls down from his position of being being supreme personality of God in all the circumstances, in all the forms, in all the incarnations. Even if he comes, he takes sometimes he takes as a form of an animal, Varaha avatar, Matsya avatar, Kurma avatar. Still, he remains the supreme personality of Godhead. He is not influenced by modes of material nature. That is the meaning of Achyuta. So Arjuna is addressing Krishna as Achyuta, that oh infallible one. Why Arjuna is addressing? Because Krishna, although out of his affection for Arjuna, he has taken the role of chariot driver of Arjuna. That means he has taken the role of a subordinate, a driver's position. But still, Arjuna knows very well, and Arjuna understands that, my dear Krishna, although out of affection for me, you have taken this role as being a driver for me, but I very well understand that you are not my driver. You are Achyuta. You are Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that's why, because you have chosen to help me, you have chosen to become my driver. So that is why I am just ordering. So, because in this verse, Arjuna is actually, in one sense, Arjuna is giving order to Krishna. That Seneya Rubyor Madhya Ratham Sthapya. Sthapya means just put the chariot, Sthapya. Put the chariot in between the two armies. This is instruction, this is the order given by Arjuna. So, but Arjuna very well understands that, although because you have taken the position of my driver, so that's why I'm giving this instruction to you. But I know that you are not my driver, you are Achyuta, you are infallible. You will still remain the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, this is one thing. Another thing, Arjuna is addressing Krishna as Achyuta to indicate Krishna that, my dear Krishna, you are Achyuta. So, the meaning of Achyuta is, one meaning is that you are Supreme Personality of God. So, even though you are acting like a driver, chariot driver, but still you are Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is no doubt about it. This is one thing. Another thing, Achyuta, meaning of Achyuta is that one who never falls down from his position of being a Bhakta Vatsal, affectionate towards his devotees. So, voice is slow, but I have been speaking from last 30 minutes. You should have told me earlier. Okay, no problem. I'll try. So, Achyuta means you are infallible. Infallible means you are affectionate towards your devotees. So, uh, I'm your devotee. So, my request is that I want to have nirikshan, observation of the armies. So, please, you take the chariot in between the two armies and help me to understand the situation. To help me, so that I may become fully prepared to fight in this battlefield. And so, this is what Arjuna is indicating by saying Krishna, by addressing Krishna as Achyuta. So, Ratham, Ubhayor, Senior Ubhayor Madhya, in between the two armies. Ratham Sthapne Achyuta, Yavad Eta Nirikshayam. Yavad Eta Nirikshayam means as long as I am able to have the observation, or is requesting Krishna that you put the chariot in the two armies in such a manner so that I will be able to perfectly observe all kinds of great warriors who are present here. Yavadeta Nirikshaham Yodhu Kaman Avasthitan, who all have assembled in this battlefield with the desire to fight. This is what Arjuna wanted to uh, know from Arjuna, uh, from Krishna. And in the next verse, it is connected to the next verse. Actually, Arjuna wanted, Yodhu Kaman means Arjuna wanted to know who all have come to support Duryodhana, the evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra. In the next verses, we call Dhartarashtrasya Durbuddhir Yuddhe Priya Chikirshava. All those who all have assembled in this great battlefield in order with the intention to please the son of Dhritarashtra, that is Duryodhana. So I want to have the observation. I want to know uh, who all who all are ready to take the side of adharma. This is what Arjuna wanted to observe from this battlefield, because before this battlefield, Arjuna had a good relationship with all the kings. So during those time, Arjuna could not have understood who all are on the side of dharma, adharma. But now there will be clear cut understanding. दूध का दूध पानी का पानी. Arjuna want to observe, and by this observation, you will understand that those who are on the side of Duryodhana, that means they are all fighting against dharma. So I will become fully prepared. Kair maya sahayodhavyam asmin rana samudyame. With whom? Maya, by me, saha yodhavyam. With whom I will have to fight in this great battlefield, so that I may also become very prepared and for the fighting. So he wanted to have the observation. Okay. So tomorrow we'll read the purport and we'll discuss more about, and few lessons also we'll discuss, especially with regards to the word Achyuta. What is the meaning of this? Okay. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Is Gita Mata ji?
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
Hare
प्रभु
Krishna.
जी, जो आपने इस कृष्ण जी के नाम को बताया, अच्युत क्यों कहते हैं, तो थोड़ा सा उसमें ये पूछना था कि अच्युत का मतलब जो भक्तों के लिए, मतलब वो अपनी अगर कहीं वर्ड ऑफ माउथ दिया हुआ है तो उससे भी नीचे आने पे वो अच्युत तब भी कहलाएंगे। उस चीज को थोड़ा सा कॉन्ट्रडिक्ट समझ
हाँ,
में नहीं आया।
नहीं नहीं,
जैसे भीष्म
अगर
जी की प्रतिज्ञा को तोड़ने के लिए उन्होंने वो उठाया था, अ, चक्र, व्हील ऑफ द रथ, ऐसा था ना प्रभु। हरे कृष्ण।
यस, तो भीष्म को प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए, भीष्म के प्रॉमिस को प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए भीष्म के ऊपर चक्र उठाया, दैट इज ऑल्सो अच्युता. ठीक है, इसमें कोई डाउट है?
मीन्स इनफॉलिबल फ्रॉम द वर्ड ऑफ माउथ, वो वाली चीज सर। प्रभु जी सॉरी, तो ये समझ में नहीं आई कि मतलब वो अपने प्रॉमिस को ब्रेक नहीं करते, लेकिन भक्तों के लिए वो प्रॉमिस भी ब्रेक कर सकते हैं अगर उनको हैप्पीनेस देता है। ये चीज ऐसे समझ सकते हैं प्रभु। हरे कृष्ण।
हाँ, अपने प्रॉमिस को, कृष्ण कैन ब्रेक हिज ओन प्रॉमिस फॉर द सेक ऑफ प्रोटेक्टिंग हिज डिवोटीज. सो वो उनके वो अच्युत, वो तो हम लोग डिस्कस किया अभी. तो अच्युत उससे भगवान फॉलिबल नहीं हो जाते हैं, बल्कि दैट इज द क्वालिटी ऑफ बीइंग अच्युत. इसलिए अच्युत रहते हैं. अच्युत मतलब ही नेवर फॉल्स डाउन, because he is ready to give protection to his devotees even at the cost of sacrificing his own promise.
थैंक यू प्रभु। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna. Yes, प्रतिज्ञा माता जी.
प्रभु जी, वो एक क्वेश्चन मेरा ये है कि मैं भागवतम में पढ़ रही थी ना, तो उसमें वो लिखा था कि जब चैतन्य महाप्रभु पहली बार जगन्नाथ टेम्पल जब गए थे, तो उसमें ऐसा लिखा था कि उनकी मतलब वो फेंट हो गए थे और उनकी बॉडी सेचुरेट होने लगी थी। तो इंजीनियरिंग के हिसाब से तो सेचुरेशन का
इंजीनियरिंग के
मतलब
हिसाब से
कुछ
मत
और होता
सोचिए.
है, आप
इंजीनियरिंग
थोड़ा
के हिसाब
बताइए।
से तो, अभी के इंजीनियरिंग के हिसाब से तो मटेरियल फिनोमिना भी समझा पाना मुश्किल है. ऐसे बहुत सारे भौतिक जो घटनाएं होती हैं, उसमें इंजीनियरिंग और मैथमेटिक्स, फिजिकल लॉ सब फेल हो जाते हैं. सारे साइंटिस्ट के लॉज एक साथ लगा दीजिए, वो भी फेल हो जाते हैं. तो यहाँ पे तो चैतन्य महाप्रभु जो भाव को प्रकट कर रहे हो तो स्पिरिचुअल है, तो स्पिरिचुअल डोमेन में तो भूल ही जाइए कि जो मटेरियल साइंस है वो वर्क करेगा. उससे कैलकुलेट
तो
मत
प्रभु जी,
करिए.
उसका मतलब बता दीजिए मुझे कि वो किस
तो
उसमें
मतलब आप
यूज
जब
हुआ
उस
है।
स्टेज में पहुंचेंगे तो समझ जाएंगे, तब तक उसको बस सुनिए
अच्छा,
और एक्सेप्ट कर लीजिए. हरे कृष्ण.
ठीक है।